Okay. So I don't think I'll be able to list all of them, but that may sound as if they were many. They were little. The ones that stood out for me once again is still linked to why we joined FAMSA. Number one, when I saw an opportunity to become president, and the way I became president was also a recommendation, just like the regional coordinator. I served as a regional coordinator. Then I think we had only 5 MSAs in West Africa who were under the regional coordinator. But when I came in, I was able to increase the number of MSAs to 200, from 9 to 200. So I think that's what impressed, I would like to believe, that the then president and the former president of FAMSA, and they recommended I should become president. And when I came in, I saw another opportunity. That normally when we introduce FAMSA, what we say is that FAMSA has been founded by members from Uganda, Ghana, and Nigeria, and the headquarters is in Nigeria. So I was like, how am I going to use Gambia's name somewhere here? And I saw that in terms of legally, FAMSA hasn't actually registered with any country, and there was a need for us to register because there are some partnerships we cannot exploit and make the most of if we are not legally registered, especially in terms of funding. So it became our mission to make sure we register FAMSA in the Gambia, which was successful. So I think now maybe if you go to FAMSA website, the updated version will read as founded by Ugandan, Ghanaian, and Nigerian, and registered in the Gambia, headquarters in Nigeria. For me, I think that would be the biggest success. Following one, maybe a second one I would think of is going to be our success in registering as a non-state actor at the WHO Africa region. I was able to do that, and we were not only registered as a non-state actor, we were given an opportunity to participate in the WHO Africa Committee. And when we went therein, I think we outperformed all the student organizations that were there. Because the tradition used to be WHO will only give them one policy item for them to talk on. When we went in there, we talked on 10 policy items rather than we gave our recommendation. 5 were delivered orally, and the other 5 were submitted in written format, which made us gain a lot of popularity in the African region at the policy making level. And I think what it does for medical students, especially African medical students, given the fact that we are 60% of the population, it has given us a platform which we are deserving of to participate in policy making. Because your journey as a doctor, no matter how competent and skilled you are, is always going to be limited and regulated by those policies that are made out there. So from the early age of being a medical student, having to participate therein and giving your feedback, making recommendations and taking part in how decisions are made and how policies are ratified, I think that's quite a success. And we see that this year too, another one is going to be held in Botswana and FAMSA is once again united. So we are now permanent partners with the WHO Africa region. Maybe to sum it up, the third main achievement that stands out for me is launching of the FAMSA alumni network. I think that was a huge opportunity that we were able to tap, and we were able to get doctors and scientists and professionals and even leaders, because the current WAHO Director General was president of FAMSA. So the East and West Southern Health Organization was also the vice president of it, and I was able to meet them during the WHO meeting. So we interacted, I collected their business cards, we told them about our plan for launching the FAMSA alumni network, and now we have all of them in our network. We have doctors in Dubai, in the US, in the UK. What it does for medical students is it gives them a whole lot of resources they can tap in terms of mentorship, internship opportunities, even in terms of career development outside of medical school. So yes, I think we do something. So that is the phase 2 of the plan. Yeah, and I think maybe I forget this fourth one because we cannot remember everything, every achievement that we made. But if there would be a fourth one, it is this one, which is trying our best to see how we can have successes with ourselves. Even at least maybe in 1 year or 2 years to come. And how we thought of me and my secretariat was that how about we try and see how we can lobby for the next General Assembly of FAMSA to be held in UniGaMSA. And in so doing, it will give the members of UniGaMSA the opportunity, a disclosure to how FAMSA everything. And from our experience, we've seen that any country that goes to GA, and in that year, they have the higher chance of becoming the next president, or at least making a majority of the executive council. So that was our purpose for that reason. And we are hopeful that even if not this year, inshallah next year we'll have the next president. Because currently we have 2 UniGaMSA members who are serving. I think it's more of feeling privileged about it really. Because it is, I would like to believe it's not special. It is special for UniGaMSA. And it's a pride for UniGaMSA, by extension maybe the Gambia. But as an individual, I would like to believe that if it was not me, anybody who was in that capacity would be able to achieve that. Or even maybe would have been able to do a better job. So from that perspective, I feel privileged and I'm very much grateful to the opportunity given to me by UniGaMSA to see myself in this ladder up until achieving the level of presidency, which, like I said, was done for a purpose, and we want to see that purpose come to fruition in the future soon. What I would say there is we are grateful to UniGaMSA, and we did not take the opportunity for granted. We hope that we have. So to UniGaMSA students, we would say that everybody has their own time, and currently you are the UniGaMSA student, so it's your time. The ball is in your court. There were times when some of us joined UniGaMSA, we had some challenges and some very real issues that we had to take care of. I wouldn't say everything has been taken care of, but I think there has been some significant progress recorded. So now it's your turn to make sure that those that are to come after you wouldn't be repeating the same challenge you did to me 1 year. And I would say make the most of the UniGaMSA congresses. Sometimes your participation doesn't even have to be in holding a position. I've seen some UniGaMSA members who have never held any position, but their impact in the organization in terms of, in every possible way they could, either in being, in terms of giving ideas or taking part during UniGaMSA activities and whatnot, or even holding executive members to account. Their impact has been more felt, way more than some of the people who served in positions. So if you are not the position person, and now I have reached a place where I think I would like to acknowledge not everybody wants to be in the limelight. If you are more of a behind the scenes guy, that's completely fine. But make sure try to identify your role. And maybe I will say this. I think the easiest job to do is to criticize. The most difficult one is to find a solution. Be a solution maker and try to, even at the risk of failing, try to be part of the solution. It's way better than being an outside, making comments and just criticizing. I think you can do that. And finally, I would say, don't see this to be extracurricular, even though it is regarded as such. Because your job as a doctor, I think initially you might think it's about saving lives. But then when you start working, you realize that part of this saving lives, you have to go through a lot of processes, especially dealing with bureaucracies and, political issues regarding budgeting and leadership, team management, communications, etc., which unfortunately the classroom will not teach you. So you have opportunities like UniGaMSA to hone your skills in those areas. So make the most of it, and it will do something